It is official. KASPA has punched through that 18 cents boundary, which is epic, but it's no surprise because it's been rallying up so much. For me, though, as a crypto miner, it's great. As a YouTuber, it's kind of been a nightmare because I've been actually recording this video now. This is the third time. The numbers keep changing. I wish the coin would just freeze for a minute so I could have accurate numbers. But I'm going to stick with what I have, and you guys are going to have to scale up the numbers. This video is going to be really packed with a lot of information on my home mining farm, the miners I've invested. I even share a lot of information to become very transparent. Here's even one of my wallets. Up to the moment, it's already made over $7,000 on a $9,000 miner in a very short a period of time. That may sound like, wow, that's great, but you have to be aware and watch out for the FOMO too. There's so much hype about KASPA. Everyone thinks you can just get in and make endless amounts of money. But time factors are really important with KASPA. See, I give a lot of insight onto the calculators I've been developing. I've actually just completed a graduate level data science program. So I look at numbers totally different. Again, all my numbers are estimates, but I want to give you a very insightful picture of how KASPA is mined. It's not like other coins like Litecoin where you mine it 1 month to the next and your rewards are pretty similar. KASPA actually halves over a year and it does it in monthly steps. And I show a lot of that information in my graphs. And how much the difficulty is rising will affect too how much of the ultimate reward you're going to be getting on this. I even try to give some different scales, some hypotheticals. What if the coin goes to 25 cents or 50 cents? Or what if it stays down where it's at? So this video is really packed with a lot of great information. I put chapter indexes down below in case you want to skip ahead or watch it twice to get some clear insight. And I hope this kind of helps you. And if it does, please remember to give me that like and don't forget to press that subscribe button. I've really got a lot to say in this video. It's about 20 minutes long, so stick with me and let's get started. Let's take a quick look at my home crypto mining farm, beginning with my Jazz miners. These Jazz miners are very powerful and very efficient, and I'm doing some solo mining at Ethereum Classic. Next to them is a bunch of the Gold Shell mini ASICs, and they're on doing some mining too. I have a K7, 2 L7s mining Lite and Dogecoin, and then 2 Bitcoin miners. And beneath them are my powerhouse, my most profitable miners right now, the ICERIVER KS3Ms. And next to it, I've recently added the ICERIVER, the KS1. And I'm actually overclocking this miner to get the higher hash rate, as I'll show you in a little bit. But I'm running this in my home. And I find by running it in my garage, I'm able to kind of control the heat, the noise, and have easier access to the electricity. And it's currently showing it's 70 degrees in the hot side, which is really good because it only runs about 10 degrees above the ambient temperature outside. And that's thanks to installing the whole house fan in the attic, which just ducts right out. Let's go take a look at the backside where you see the miners up and running. Here we are on the outside of my crypto mining farm, otherwise known as the cold aisle. And you can see I use the foam boards to control and contain a lot of the heat. And this way I'm able to direct a lot of that heat right outside the home. And it's currently about 62 degrees in the cold side. So my warm side is only about 70. I'm only about 8 degrees warmer, which is fantastic. It's been a little warmer lately. Those are my 2 Bitcoin miners, my 2 Litecoin miners, and then I even have a K7, which is mining CKB. That's pumped up quite a bit lately. And on the lower aisle, you see 2 KS3Ms. These are my money-making Kaspa miners, and my more recent KS1. I'm actually using this with the T-Swift overclocks, and it's performing really well for me. I always try to keep a tight eye and make sure I'm staying safe under the 80% limit for my power. So I'm only using about 22 amps on 30 amp circuit. But I hope to move some of my miners over to hosting soon so I can recover some of that power and get some of my GPUs on. But for a home crypto mining farm, I think I've come a long way in the past year. What do you guys think? And where did I get all my miners from, including my Casper ASICs? Well, the majority of my whole mining farm of ASICs is coming from Coin Mining Central. I actually worked with them in the past. They've been a long-time sponsor of my channel. I've been working with them for about 2 years now. And these miners are 2, the KS1, the KS3Ms. I bought them with my own money, just like you would. Sure, as a YouTuber, they did give me a few bucks off in full disclosure, but I pretty much paid very, very similar to what you would pay. I could have went anywhere. So why did I go over to Coin Mining Central? Well, I've worked with them for a long time, and they've been very reputable, and they deliver as they promise. The prices include free delivery to my door, so there was no hidden surprises with that. I know they have some distribution center in the US as well. So whether you're interested in a Bitcoin miner, a Litecoin miner, or even a Kaspa miner, definitely check out the team over at Coin Mining Central. They've done right by me in the past, and I have nothing but good things to say about them. And if you use them, I do have a discount code that'll save you $125. Oh, that reminds me, they have the new IBELINK KS Max. This is a powerhouse, sexy miner, 10.5 terahash, but it only uses 3,400 watts. So this 10.5 terahash miner is using the same power as my 6 terahash ICERIVER. So that's pretty incredible. And I have a $250 discount code. I'll be putting that in the link down below. But if you're interested in any ASIC miners, maybe it's a Bitcoin miner, maybe it's a Litecoin miner, they have them all, including even some like the new Bitcoin, the S21. This is a powerful miner. Look at this, 200 terahash. My gosh, I could only imagine having something like that. Taking a look at the mining dashboard for my KS3M #1. This is the very first one I got on early December of 2023. And this miner is giving me just over 6 terahash. So I'm looking at 6150 is the 30 minutes. And if I flip over to the dashboard on Kaspa Pool, I could see this miner is making $63.39 a day at the current mining profitability. And mind you, that may change as difficulty goes up or even the coin price. So you see off on the far right here, you see this is the coin price per Kaspa. So it's been rallying up pretty good, and that's what's giving me these returns. But you have to expect too that a lot of other people are going to be seeing this and saying, oh boy, I better get in on this. So expect the difficulty to go up. But if the coin prices keep rising, it'll be sustainable. Switching over to the Kaspa Explorer, I can see how well this miner has performed even over time. I put in my Kaspa wallet address already, and you could see that this miner has made 39,575 Kaspa since it was started, and was started in early December of 2023. And that would give me a mining value of over $6,400 if I cashed in at this current price right now of about 16.17 Kaspa. Now, one thing that's nice about this Explorer to kind of paint a clearer, true picture is you can go down and see all your transaction history. So I can actually see all the transactions that have come in on this over time. But if I go to the very last page, that's what's actually going to show me when I started on this miner. And you can see here that I've started mining and started getting revenue on December 5th of 2023. So that's only 74 days. Let me go back to the first page and we scroll up to the top. So this miner has made $6,423. Well, the price keeps changing, I guess, as it's changing. Now it's at 116.22. Let me just throw up a calculator quick so I can put in 6419.11, which is how much it's accumulated gross at the current price. Divide that by the 74 days, and this miner has made me, on average, $86.74 per day. Historically, this does not imply anything about the future. Shortly after I purchased my first KS3M miner, I seen a sweet spot. I seen the price of the Kaspa miners was still holding down low, but I seen an inflection point where the price of Kaspa was starting to rally. So I actually got in and I pulled the trigger on a second miner. So I have KS3M #2. So now I have 2 of them. But this miner only got to me about 2 weeks after the first one. Let's see how it performed. So this is the mining dashboard, and it's been running overall pretty good at about 6 terahash. And I'm also running it on Kaspa Pool, but I'm running it in its own wallet so I can track the profitability and rewards. Miner's same as the other one. It's making about $63.32 a day is what it's saying. So switching over to my Kaspa Explorer, I already have my wallet plugged in, and we can see this miner has made 28,675 Kaspa since it started mining. Worth the equivalent right now at the current price of $16.23. It said it made $4,654. And if I scroll down to the very bottom, let me just jump over to the very last page. We could see this miner has been up and running since December 20th of 2023. So it's mining actually about 15 days less than the first one. It's only mined about 59 days. So even though it only mined 15 days less than my first KS3M, it's made a significant amount less money. Let me open up a quick calculator, and 6399 minus 4636, 4636, just a rough number. And we could see this miner has made $1,763 less than my first miner, which started 2 weeks before. That's why there's a premium on getting these miners faster. I wanted to get this miner yesterday when I got it because I knew when I did my calculations how much more it can make. KASPA, again, it's like Bitcoin on steroids. There's a lot of opportunity there, but you gotta have the miners in now. The last miner I want to look at is my ICERIVER. This is the KS1. This is normally a 1 terahash miner using only 600 watts. But you could see from the dashboard, I'm getting significantly higher hash rate from it. And that's thanks to using the T-Swift firmware upgrade. I've actually tried using the freeware one that was available online, but I got pretty poor results and the miner wasn't staying very stable. But I've been getting very good results using the T-Swift firmware upgrade. I'm not encouraging or endorsing anyone to upgrade their miners to use different firmware than they should. I'm taking the risk in doing it myself. But if you're interested in it, I'll be putting a link down below if you want to contact him and find out about his firmware and the different price structure he offers for it. But for me, it's killing it. Look at that, about 1.6 terahash I'm getting on this miner. And if I flip over to the mining dashboard, I can see on Kaspa Pool, it's making $16.34 a day currently. So I want to get that additional Kaspa right now. That's why I chose to overclock it. I'm going to take the risk to do it because I know my cooling situations and I'm going to monitor it. Plus I know he also has some new monitoring software, but I'm going to be covering overclocking Kaspa miners in a different video. Again, do that at your own risk. So now with the overclocked firmware, how has this miner been doing? It's been doing great. If I go over to Kaspa Explorer, we can see this miner has mined up 8,274, worth about $1,342. And I only put this miner online on December 13th of 2023. So it's only running 66 days. To be fully transparent on this though too, this wallet did have about $65 or $70 worth of Kaspa when I started at the current rate. So reduce this amount, maybe make it $1,250, $1,260. That's how much it's accumulated in 66 days. So if I put up a quick calculator and let's just say 1260 adjusted value, and if I divide that by 66 days, this miner's been making me $19 a day on average historically. Again, this does not indicate what it's going to give you in the future. The last group of miners I want to talk to you about are my KS0 and my KS0Pros. I haven't been dedicating a single wallet to them, so I can't tell you what is the accumulator per se, but I can show you how they're performing. And I'm actually using the T-Swift firmware. I'm getting really higher results out of this. I'm actually overclocking my KS0Pros. Look at that, I'm getting over 310 to 320 gigahash on them. And they've been running fine. And I've actually figured out a very cool way to do it and keep them cool, literally. So my exhaust temperature on this is 53, but it's not the chip temperature. And again, overclocking, you do at your own risk. So I am not a professional. I am not encouraging anyone to overclock their miners. Just I'm willing to take the risk on because to me it was worth the reward. And I was watching this miner and keeping it cool. But I'm able to get, look, about 310, 320 gigahash out of it compared to the stock 200. So it makes a big difference. And I have all these miners currently mining into on 2 miners right now. And get an idea of the, you could see the hash rates of them. So the KS0 is only showing me about 157, but the other one, the KS0Pros, are like between 280 and 312. So I'm getting that extra boost, and that really helps me get and accumulate that much higher profits out of the miners. Wow, when I see all this money coming in, not hundreds, but thousands of dollars coming in within a couple of months, really short period of time, it has me like all pumped up inside. Makes me even want to dance or something else like that cool. And you probably see this and want to do the same thing. You probably say, Crypto Mining Insider, I got to get out there. I got to get myself a Kaspa miner or 2 or 3. Do not be fooled. Do not be blind and do not get caught with the FOMO. There's a lot of caveats to mining, especially coins like Kaspa, because they have halvings that happen for a year, as I'll show you in a little bit, as well as the difficulty is rising really quick. A lot of other people besides me have Kaspa miners, and a lot of people, you rest assured, are going to be buying them now that they see these numbers. Do not blindly go into any crypto investments. Do your own research first. Let me show you some of the information that I used when I made my buying decision. There are a lot of very unique and special things about KASPA that I love. Some people actually refer to KASPA as like a better Bitcoin because it's lightweight, it's extremely fast, and they claim it actually solves the trilemma. A great article, a post if you're interested, is on the kaspa.org website. There's one here I'm looking at is tokenomics, emissions, and mining. There's a lot of great information in here. So one of the things I can just highlight right away is it has a max supply of 28.7 billion. And the emission schedule, if you notice too, it's not linear. It doesn't happen very, very slow. It happens very, very fast. That's why I refer to KASPA as like Bitcoin but on steroids. Because Bitcoin halves about every 4 years, KASPA halves every year. And it actually does it monthly in small steps. So you don't notice any big drop off. However, it adds up to be halving every year. So that's really significant compared to other coins. Also too, a lot of KASPA has already been mined. As of January 1st of 2024, 76.3% of the coin is already mined out. So there's not a big mining window for it. That's why it's so important to try to accumulate as much as we can now. And there's a wealth of other things. There's currently a layer 1 coin, and a layer 2 hopefully will be in the very near future. And that'll include a lot of things like smart contracts. Another really important thing to understand about KASPA is the difficulty. Well, what is the difficulty? It's how many miners are competing to mine it. How difficult is it to mine a block? And people typically will be mining this in a pool, but it's kind of like there's only so much pie to go around. So the more people you have, the smaller the rewards are going to get over time. And KASPA difficulty has surged, especially over the past 3 months. So if I'm looking at like even mid-November, which is when I pulled my miners, they were like 60 or 62 petahash. But now it's up at over 174. And I see it step down momentarily, which is kind of ambiguous because the revenue is up higher. So I wonder if there's some new miners that are about to ship. They're coming off from maybe from ICERIVER, from Bitmain, from potentially Goldshell, or even on the new IBELINK miners. So I would definitely expect we're going to see some surge in the difficulty, especially now with this higher coin price. Which brings me to coin price. If I'm jumping over to coin market cap, the current price of KASPA is 0.1636. But if we look how it surged over this past year, over 2,082% in 1 year, which is phenomenal. So the point of KASPA is kind of like a supercharged or Bitcoin on steroids, in my opinion. It's just the coin is going up fast, the difficulty is going up fast, the rewards are coming down fast. So it really creates like its own trilemma, I guess, in a sense of just trying to mine a difficulty and trying to model and predict how it will perform. It's not linear because you have rewards coming down, you have the difficulties driving everything down, and you have the price going up. Trying to find those intersections and give assumptions of what it will be in the future is extremely difficult. Back in November, when I was looking to buy my first miner, I created a calculator. This is actually the calculator that I've created when KASPA was at 13.8 cents. The network hash rate was 65.2 petahash, and it was only growing at about 16 to 18% monthly. And I created this calculator to see, you could see the rewards coming down over time. So this is the 2-year mining period. And you can also see too, this orange line is how much I've accumulated in KASPA. So based on those assumptions, if I got this mine December 1st of 2023, I would have made $21,601, and I would have ROI'd on 81 days. But we didn't anticipate that huge difficulty surge because KASPA didn't go up 16%. It went up quite a lot more than that. Fortunately, though, too, we're seeing the price go up recently, too. Now, if you look at this chart, you can also see these big steps down here. What are these steps? These steps are actually my indicators of where the halvings would be happening monthly. So I just wanted to kind of share this with you, and hopefully it gives you a little bit more of a visual of how KASPA is. Now, if you go back to those online calculators like ASIC Miner Value or Mine the ASIC that are showing you the linear numbers, I'm not seeing anything on here that looks linear. Are you? And that's why it was really important to kind of be able to divest and show you that KASPA does not perform linearly. The rewards change over time. We're just hoping that the price is more than able to compensate for the difficulty. Now, I was seeing too, there was actually a price difference. If I got one of these miners coming in on December 1st versus January 1st, I could save myself some good money. That would be pretty sweet. However, when I did the calculations, there was a big gap in how much revenue would be. Approximately $4,348 is what I calculated at the time. That's why I went ahead and pulled the trigger. I said, I got to get this money here as soon as possible because time is of the essence. You can see the rewards are going down. I want to get as much as I can right now. This is why I went ahead and did a little bit more calculations. I got bold. I purchased 2. Hopefully this shows you some of the dynamics that are involved in trying to make predictions at best of what Kaspa mining revenue will be. There's a lot of complexity goes into it. But what if you didn't buy a miner back in December or January? Damn, how do you calculate it? How do you see it? I've actually gone through the trouble of creating a new calculator. I kind of updated some of my metrics for it, and it seems to be pretty accurate to what I'm doing now. This is the new calculator that I've done. I've actually updated some of the metrics that I was using. I've updated the price to be 16.2 cents. Difficulty is probably on the low side. I'm approximating 22%. That's based on how it's been this past couple of weeks. But I definitely think it's going to surge quite a bit right now because we're seeing the price rally up. And again, this excludes electricity costs. It's pretty accurate that I'm about 6,300 is how much I've kind of gained back from this according to the calculator. And my ROI, you can see, has come down here, and it's on target for probably about the beginning of May. And this is now we're looking at a 1-year horizon. So within that period of time, I would have not only have ROI'd on it, plus some, I would have also even still have the miner, which is a tangible asset. Maybe I'd be able to sell. But what if you didn't buy one of these at the time? Well, no problem, because I actually thought it'd be kind of an interesting and a fun exercise to put a little bit of scale to it. So I actually just iterated different time periods. So here's for January 1st, February, March, April, and May. And I want to kind of show you the value of time plays over it, that over time the reward comes down. So you getting a miner closer to now, if you were going to be getting one, would probably be more important because you could see there's a sizable gap in their rewards. So time is a very important factor to consider when you're thinking about Kaspa mining. Now we're looking at the projected mining estimates for Kaspa at the current price of about 16.2 cents. But one thing more than even the difficulty has shown us in variability is the price. The price has been very volatile, and it's been very upwards volatile. It doesn't mean it will continue to do that, but there's a strong likelihood. Do you think Kaspa is going to stay flat? If you do, then I highly encourage you, do not go and buy any Kaspa miners. Absolutely not, because you're not going to be able to make the revenue that you desire. However, if you're like me and you're kind of bullish on Kaspa, but still being realistic, for this coin has already come and multiplied itself many, many times over. So for it to even go up maybe from 16 cents to 25 cents, does that seem reasonable? This is what the numbers look like if I project it at 25 cents. Wow, that's a big difference right there. My miner that I got back in December would be doing about $17,000. So I'd have $17,000. I would have basically double ROI'd on it. Plus I would still have the miner. That's a great asset. And I think that's conservative, but again, not financial advice. Do your own research. Could it go to 50 cents? It's possible. So if it goes to 50 cents, this is what the numbers look like. And now I'd be closer to like $34,000. And if you got a miner anywhere in this time frame, and if it goes to this price, depending upon what the difficulty obviously does too, because we're not factoring adjustments to that, but it could make or break how much your profitability is. And looking at one step further, which is absolute hopium for us, imagine if we seen it up at $1. At $1 now, my Kaspa miner would be closer to like $68,000 it would have made. And here's all the different price ranges and what it would be projecting. Again, though, I don't know what's going to happen with the difficulty. We don't know if this is going to happen with the price. So this is pure hopium. But the one thing that Kaspa's told me is kind of expect the unexpected. We've seen huge spikes in the difficulty, but we've seen even bigger spikes on the price. And as you can see, that there's a lot to really take into account. With the price surge of Kaspa this month up 47.84%, it's no wonder we're seeing a scarcity of miners available. If I refer to the ICERIVER website, ICERIVER.io, you could see all their miners are sold out here. Plus, too, if you did buy it direct from them and you were in the US, you'd be paying import tariffs. However, looking over at the Coin Mining Central website, I see they have a full array of miners available. Everything from like the ICERIVERs, the KS3M, which is my most profitable miner right now that I've showed you the metrics of already. They have some other miners from Bitmain, but I think they're kind of overpriced for what they offer. for that same money that they're charging for the Bitmain miners, I would be much rather go for the IBELINK, the new BM KS Max, because it's 10.5 terahash at only 3,400 watts. This is extremely efficient and very, very powerful. They also have some of the KS0Pros, and although you pay a little bit more of a premium for it, the advantage though too is they actually have these miners in stock. That about wraps it up for today, and I hope you've enjoyed seeing this preview of my home crypto mining farm. This is actually right in my garage that I'm really mining the heck out of a lot of coins, including KASPA. There's been a lot of other coins starting to rally up too that I've been able to take advantage of, including like CKB, which is Nervos. On the very far end there, you see I have a K7 miner, and that coin has actually exploded like 400% in the past probably month and a half alone. But that's going to be a story for another video. This opportunity there, just making smart decisions, is really important. And I hope seeing my graphs kind of gives you a new or fresh perspective of how to look at KASPA. Seeing the halvings happen over a year, but they're having in monthly steps, as well as the difficulty and how that plays a significant role. Time is really an important factor with KASPA because getting as much KASPA as you can early on is really instrumental to being a successful miner. As well as I've pointed out a lot of the pitfalls too. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please remember to like and subscribe. Until next time, stay safe, happy mining.